Welcome back to Razmafsar TV. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a late Sasanian sword from its scabbard. I have written extensively on classification of Sassanian swords. You can find it in my book, Arms and Armor from Iran. You can also find in my book, Lexicon of Arms and Armor from Iran, and also in other books where I publish examples of Sassanian swords in the catalog part of my books. Just recently, for the academic and peer review journal, Parse, which belongs to the Ministry of Science of Iran, together with Sassanian period expert, Professor Akbarzadeh, I published an academic article on the classification, we published on the classification of Sassanian swords, analyzing rock reliefs and analyzing coins and also historical examples. I am adding the link to this article, which you can freely access on my academia page. Early Sassanian swords looked like this. They had a crossguard, quite wide crossguard. This one is excavated and is kept in the National Museum of Iran, Iran Bostan Museum in Tehran. The dimensions of it and the full description of it you can find in my book, Arms and Armor from Iran. This type of sword was carried by a scabbard slide system in front of the body. What does scabbard slide system mean? Look at these warriors, Sassanian warriors. You see that the scabbard slide is here. There is a slide here where the belt goes through it, and you can carry it in front of your body. In contrast to some research papers in the past, we have shown in our article, the classification of Sassanian sword, which was published in Parse Journal. You can also carry it on the left hip. They carried it also on the right hip and in the middle. Fact remains that no matter if you carried it on foot or on horseback as it is here, this was carried and hanging vertically to the ground. It came to an oblique position when you pressed your hand on the sword hilt, as you can see it here. If you're on a horseback, you possibly do not see that much of a difference. Possibly, I said. But when you are on foot, when you march, when you walk around, this sword is hanging here. It might be dangling, but the shape, as some colleagues say, could from time to time hit the ground, which is not very happy situation. But you see, we have this type of hanging also on some European swords, also on other Asian swords in later periods as well. It doesn't necessarily need that it would hit the ground, as you can see it here. But one thing which happens is if you want to draw it, it will be, some colleagues say, slower to draw. But then again, any drawing of a sword is done via manipulating the scabbard, means that you need to put the scabbard up and then pull it up. Draw it. Admittedly, I need to say, as an experienced swordsman, it will take longer if you use it via scabbard slide than the later method, which is a P shape. I will go back to that later. So you see, even on coins, you see that there is a via scabbard slide system. We describe it in our article with Dr. Akbarzadeh. Why? On most Sassanian iconography, be it on rock reliefs or be it on coins, they depict that. Could it have had a more religious meaning? We describe it in the article, which you can find and read. You see here also, it is on by a scabbard slides, where the Sassanian sword is hanging. In the later period of Sassanians, scabbard slide started to disappear, and we have this one, this type of sword. We call it P-shaped. It's from the back of the sword. These two allow, and then there is that the sword is carried horizontally. What do we mean with carried horizontally? That you pass the cord here, and then you can carry it. This is the back of it. And another feature of this is, okay, it is a pommel cap, which looks like a hat, but more importantly, if you look, there is an indentation, which allows your index finger to wrap around it, and you can then deliver a cut. Or thrusts. Most Sassanian swords from this period, double-edged. Some, as I have handled them with the original blades, could have been, this one not is clearly double-edged. Some of them, there is one edged, and then it has a false edge up to here. You see in Sassanian rock reliefs towards the end, this is a P-shaped scabbard slide, which you can clearly see that the sword started to be carried in an oblique position, or horizontal if you want it. It's not really horizontal, it's diagonal oblique position. Please take a look at that. There are other examples. It's always the feather, which reminds of Seymour. You can read about it in my books. This one is very interesting. One P-shape remained on one handle. On one side is gold. Front side is gold. The other side is made of silver. This one is silver cover. Again, P-shape. This one as well. You see that you have always this P-shape and indentation. Interestingly, if you take a look at them, the P-shape goes up, and then the indentation is here. So it's hanging this way. Let me just show it. It's hanging this way. It's in an oblique position. The true edge faces the ground, but not all Sassanian swords. Some of them, as in the British Museum, the true edge is hanging up. Means if you carry this sword, when you draw it out, the true edge comes first. It's up, sorry. It's up. This one, the true edge is down. So you could carry them, depending on the situation, edge up, as this is the case, and edge down, as this one is the case. Most of them are edged down when you carry them. Some of them, as in this example with golden cover in the British Museum, were carried edge up. So as we have seen, there are three Sassanian swords. One of them was, two one-handed types, and one is double-handed, but we are not talking about double-handed, we're talking about the two-handed. One of them was a scabbard slide system. A scabbard slide system is in front of your body, and this is with P-shaped. The P-shaped swords, they have indentation. So if you put your hand here, right, your right finger, there's an indentation. Most of them are actually other way around, means this indentation look down as I had it. Some of them look up. So the one I have here, where the P-shape is there, indentation is here. So why P-shape? Because P-shape, normally in research, they say it allows you to carry it horizontally and not so vertically, because especially for infantry, it's not very nice, because if you want to carry the sword all the time, you need to press the scabbard in order to carry a long sword. So otherwise the shape always dangles and could hit the ground. So that's why P-shaped, and they say that P-shaped allows for a faster draw. I'm not so sure if I agree with that, because even with the scabbard slide, you can just manipulate the scabbard to come up and draw. But okay, let's say it's faster. So with this one, I'm going to show you now a draw system. So I'm here. They say horizontally, but it's actually diagonal, as you can see, diagonal, horizontal. So if I'm here, I can put it here, easily draw the sword, as you can see it here, right? And this allows me to draw the sword, and I can also show it from the other side. You see that I'm here, and I can easily draw the sword. This, as you could see, it went into a horizontal cut. Okay, I'm going to show you the P-shaped draw of a Sassanian sword. We say that this P-shaped, as I mentioned it before, most of them indentation is down. So if the edge is down, and this one, the true edge is up. Most of them are double edge. Some Sassanian sword are one edge, just the edge has a back edge as this one. So if I'm here, look at this, then I can easily draw it, right? And this allows me for the fast draw for a Sassanian sword. So it is then hanging here almost horizontally, as they say, or also diagonally, horizontally. So you can see, you can bring it here, and you can easily draw the sword. The next type of Sassanian swords is this one you see here. I published 3 examples of these. 2 are published in my book, Arms and Armor from Iran. One is kept in the National Museum of Iran. The other one is kept in Reza Abbasi Museum in Tehran. And the third one is in Bunyad Museum in Tehran. This one is from Bunyad Museum of Tehran. What they have in common, as you can see in this example, they have a rectangular piece close to the handle, which ensures the balance. It is very well balanced, in contrast to some people who saw some pieces of them on the net and thought they couldn't be that well balanced. They are very well balanced. As you can see it here, this rectangular piece makes it to be well balanced, and this is like a beak of a bird here, and on back of it you see 2 rings. All of them have these 2 rings. Possibly they passed the cord, and this cord was attached to the handle, so in case you hit very hard, you didn't lose it. So it's this forward grip, and most probably none of them has P-shaped for hanging it, but they have the same feather pattern. Possibly and there is no one scabbard slide in front of it. Possibly this also late Sassanian period, they tucked it in the belt. Possibly. There is also another variation of Sassanian swords. This is also from National Museum of Iran. This is a long sword which was excavated. This is actually not curved. This is due to the pressure which was on the ground, happened like that. It's had 2 discs, so you can put one hand here. Let's say the right hand if you're right-handed. Left hand comes here, or here you can vary. Another one of these 2-handed Sassanian swords was published in my book, Lexicon of Arms and Armor from Iran. Thank you for visiting our channel. Please subscribe and like, leave comments. If you want to buy my books, you can go to the bookshop, link of our bookshop, which you can find it here in the description of this video. Have a nice day.